Welcome to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson today, joined by Tim the Freedom Variant O'Connor.
Fresh off the road, Kevin. I drove on roads. I drive on some of the worst roads in New York State to get back to my house. The stretch of I-88 between Oneonta and Albany it's brutal, man. It's brutal. Every time I ride down that's when I say we need flying cars, we need autopilot. We could do this stuff. We have the technology. We have it.
That's what you're ready for. It's after seeing those roads, you're like, all right, let's.
Those are the worst roads. Ask anybody, man. Ask anybody. Those roads are the worst roads in New York State. They're horrible.
I'm sure there will be some folks who will challenge you on that. I don't know.
They would have to. I don't know. I mean, I'm willing to. I'll back it up. I could film myself driving down that road,
just
bouncing up and down. Oh yeah, it's brutal.
I think they've improved it now, but there's the like highway out to like Hamlin out here.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Is it bad?
Like, yeah, no, it's rough, and it's like 60-mile-an-hour roads, and you got to like dodge potholes. It's ridiculous.
Nice, that's fun.
Yeah,
keeps you awake.
Yeah, I haven't driven down it in a few years, so maybe it got better, but it was pretty rough going. So anyway, folks, we got a show for you. We're gonna talk about the Metabiota stuff.
What a great deal! Like. There's Epstein, Maxwell, Hunter Biden, Metabiota. I mean, I'm just saying, it's all there.
Yeah, no, it's got a lot of stuff. So I don't want to spend the whole time on it, but I do want to talk about it.
Let's not spend the whole time on it, but let's spend some significant time on it.
Let's spend some time on it. So we got that. And if we get to it, we'll talk about some redistricting stuff. We'll talk about the Tofurky case. Hopefully we can get to that one.
Free speech trumps all.
That's right. And we'll, of course, do Fake News Friday. So we'll go in 3 minutes.
Sounds
3
good.
minutes. When our time is at 3 minutes. I lost count. Welcome to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson today, joined by Tim the Freedom Variant O'Connor.
I'm here, Kevin, fresh off the road from a hard week of work, saving the world with solar power. That's what I do.
There you go. I am fresh off a hard week of sitting on my butt working in front of my computer in my attic. So I'm doing the same thing that I've been doing all day.
Okay, that's great. I mean, we have to have our skill sets and we have to apply them to the real world. That's the way it goes.
Mine's sitting on my butt. I'm great at it. My employers love me. So thanks for listening, folks. Whether you're listening on WISL, WACK out in Newark, or all of our friends listening online. And of course, if you're listening online, it's our Fake News Friday show. So make sure you leave your comments, join in the discussion if you'd like. If you have something good to add, we'll put it on the screen, and if you're listening online, and we'll talk about it. So we got a couple things to talk about today. We'll talk about the Metabiota stuff for at least a little bit. We'll talk about the redistricting stuff. Maybe we'll get to the Tofurky case again. Some Fake News Friday, of course.
Can I just tell you how I'm feeling about something, Kevin? Just to get things started. I don't think that Will Smith handled Chris Rock's joke as well as he could have. I really don't.
He, that is the most important story of the week. And I think you're right. He probably could have handled that better.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little bit. I mean, just because someone deserves a slap doesn't mean you should slap him.
I mean, wasn't it just a friendly, playful jape and therefore not slap worthy?
I don't know. I think that's subjective. To me, like, it wasn't very nice. Wouldn't have slapped him for it.
I wouldn't have slapped him for it. I don't know. Poor Will Smith. He seems angry.
He's having a rough time.
I wonder what that's all about. There may be some other issues there.
I feel like he's got some stuff going on
that he needs to work out, right?
Yeah. Poor old Will Smith.
I think that's probably what's really going on. So Metabiotic, Kevin. I
Yeah.
I mean, our friend Sean Hannon kind of popped on last week and dumped it in our lap, and I do think we should talk about it because there's a lot of interesting stuff. And I know you're going to be all like, "Oh, Metabiota is a real company, and it's not just a money laundering affair for the Biden family." I'm going to challenge some of those assertions.
Okay. So you think that it's all just a scam? They're not really doing anything.
I don't
That's
know.
that's
I don't
that's the
know.
whole thing.
Well, I mean,
Or
I
but
checked out their website. It's pretty cool. They have offices in San Francisco, California, Washington D.C., Cameroon, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. And interestingly enough, they are global leaders in epidemiology, veterinary medicine, laboratory science, data science, actuarial science, social science, political
are you just
economics.
reading their website now?
Yeah, I am. I am. That's it. And but that's who they are. That's what their website says.
All right.
Now,
So so let's talk about like why this is in news, right? So like two reasons. One, there was some discussion of this company in the Hunter Biden like emails, which we talked about last week. Like turns out that laptop was legit. Again, it didn't pass the smell test to me, but it turned out to be legit. And these news organizations probably could have done a bit better with that. The social media companies could have done a bit better about that, about not shutting down accounts who talked about it.
yeah.
Maybe just a
And
thought.
and all the people that called it Russian disinformation. I mean, high level people in the I mean, di-
Well,
it's what got Joe Biden elected. To be honest with you,
the
you can't handle that.
Russians certainly are getting involved again because they've jumped into it into the story again, and they said, well, hey, look, Hunter Biden is funding bioweapons labs, and then that's like what they've thrown out there.
Yeah,
And so you got like the different spins on it, right? So you got like the Russian like it's a bioweapons lab, blah blah blah, and then you got the Democrats like nothing to see here, folks. This is all
yeah,
just it's all fake news. It's Russian disinformation,
yeah.
and some Republicans going, like, oh well, we should look into this stuff, and I feel like part of it is it's partisan motivated. I get it, like
Yeah.
yeah, this is a way to go after a team, but I think there's a little bit something here. I think it's far more boring than most people want it to be. Not most people want it to be, but Republicans and certainly the Russians want it to be.
Yeah, no, I think I understand what you're saying there, right? We get into these gotcha moments, and the mainstream media and the Republicans jump on one side and the Democrats jump on the other side, and we they just everybody's like, "Oh, we got you this time. We got you."
Yeah,
And I kind of I have to admit, I'm a little bit sick of that. Like I
yeah.
just like that
Well,
bores me.
like yeah, like I'm almost reflective every time reflexive every time like a media story comes out like this. I'm like, all right, so now I've got to go and dig through this and figure out what actually happened amidst all the partisan noise because it's not it's not nothing. I don't.
It's definitely not nothing though. We got to
Yeah,
admit, Hunter Biden is a crafty business influence peddler. Let's call him
yeah.
that. He's
So
crafty.
yeah.
That guy. He's an
So
artist.
let's like establish like some of the actual facts, right? Like, so this company, it really does exist. What they do, as you described, is they do like research on like epidemics. So the idea behind them is that they're supposed to be doing research. Like I've talked about on other shows how there's like the like different classifications of lab. They were running like a level 3 lab in Kyiv, in Ukraine. So this
But
they
it's
had that there. And then they had the other ones in like, whatever, Cameroon and
they deny though. They deny that it's a bioweapons lab. Is that I just want to go on the record to say
right. And that's what I was gonna
they
say.
deny
They
that.
said that just because they're getting Department of Defense money does not mean that they're doing biolab research or bioweapon research, that a biolab is not the same thing as bioweapons research. That's kind of where I like took a little bit of issue with some of the like the Daily Mail reporting on this, because I read it and I'm like, okay, like where'd you provide the evidence to jump to this is a bioweapons lab? Because like you've made the accusation that the Department of Defense funds this and that they're doing research on diseases, but that is those two pieces of evidence do not necessarily lead you to conclude that this must therefore be bioweapons research, because
But it's
Department of Defense does do research in
but it's an
disease outbreaks too.
right, but it's an understandable kind of correlation our brains automatically
No,
make in this day and age after, and I'm not saying that it's right. Hang on, don't yell at
that
me, Kevin. Don't yell at me. It's an understandable correlation after the dysfunction that we saw with the the origin of the COVID-19 virus. And I think that we do participate in research on viruses that is obviously, I think, dangerous, and I think they know that. Now, whether
yeah.
it's weaponizing a virus or not is a different story. I get that.
Yeah. And that's something to look at and scrutinize. Again, are they following safety protocols? Are they doing the right thing there? Like, that's worth looking at. Or should we even be sending money overseas? Like, does it make sense to make these sort of investments? Maybe. The argument goes from all these different sources that comes up with DOD, from NIH, wherever. They're like, well, we need to fund this stuff so we know when a disease outbreak happens, so then that we can react appropriately and give resources and guidance and whatever, right?
Right.
Like, that's the idea. Same thing behind the Wuhan lab too. Like, why was the NIH funding that stuff? It's because that's where they thought a new disease might break out, and turns out they were somewhat right.
And aren't they kind of sort of regulated out of that market in the United States? Like the United States doesn't want, it's a sort of a not in my backyard kind
No,
of
no, no. So
research.
they have like biolabs in the United States. Like, it's still a thing.
Right.
What isn't allowed was the stuff that kind of starts to look like gain of function research, which is what they seemed like they may have been doing. And some of the same players over there in Wuhan are also somewhat tied to that lab in Ukraine, the Metabiota. And I don't know if it's just a small world type of thing or what, but
Yeah.
that's where people are making some of the connection. Be like, oh, something's afoot here. But we got to go to a break, though. Thanks again for joining us here on A Free Solution. When we come back, we'll keep talking about this for, well, at least another segment. Thanks again for joining us. We'll be back in a few. All right.
I had that low internet thing come up. I hope it didn't go blank on you. It was right in the middle when I was talking.
No, you froze earlier when we were chatting, but
Okay.
not that. Yeah, we can go back at 14. Let's jump right back into it. 14 to 26.
Bonus content for you, the internet viewer, Kevin coughing out
I
loud.
know. Yeah, right. Coughing into my mic. You're welcome,
Well
folks.
done. Well done.
You're welcome.
We're
All
offering
right.
the real scoop on the Metabiota story.
All right, back at 5, 4, 3. Welcome back to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson, your host today, joined by Tim, the Freedom Variant O'Connor.
I'm here again, brother. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, right on. In your actual studio today. So
I made it. Yeah, I had to drive hard to get here. That's for sure.
Well, the viewers, I'm sure, and listeners appreciate it.
I hope they do. I appreciate them. So
yeah, got the pro mic today.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the Metabiota story, and we're just kind of talking about like what kind of the argument about this is. Again, the Russians, their stuff, it's a bit hard to trust what comes out of their government. I don't think that they're acting in good faith about a lot of the news that's coming out of Ukraine, because they've been known to just make stuff up. So
yeah, I enjoy Russian trolling, but not under the guise of the seriousness that we're experiencing Russian misbehavior in the world right now. So I'm mad at Russia, and their trolling isn't as funny as it used to be. I want to be very clear about that.
Yeah, and so, but there's some folks, who in our country and Maybe they don't like Hunter Biden. Maybe they're investigating a legitimate story. They're seeing things like the Department of Defense started giving them like this company money in the Ukrainian government money back in 2005, and they're just there to build and maintain these like bio research labs over there. Again, doesn't necessarily mean that they are doing bioweapons research. They it, bio lab research happens all the time in the US, all that stuff. But let's talk about the Hunter Biden connection to it, right?
Sure.
Uh,
Let's play it out for the people that are curious about what Hunter Biden has to do with Metabiota.
right. So his connection to that is that he found this company and his investment firm invested some money in it, right? So that's kind of straightforward what it is.
Right.
So and he also introduced some of his buddies in Burisma to this company too. So
Nothing to see here, Kevin.
yeah,
Nothing to see here. It's just how high level investing
high
gets
level.
done.
Well, so here's the thing with that company, they invested like Hunter Biden. He had invested like 250,000 in this, which that sounds like a lot of money to a lot of people. It's actually it's not that much money for this type of investment firm. Again, I'm
This
not.
is I agree. That's an accurate. That's absolutely accurate, right? We're talking these companies see millions and millions and millions of dollars before, and so $250,000 isn't a ton of money for this.
Yeah, for this type of stuff, it's kind of a drop in the bucket. Now, like, because here's where I kind of see the actual corruption in this. Like, and I think most of the corruption here is like just kind of boring, right? When he was making these investments, back in like whatever, 2013, 2014, the uh, there was a lot of investment opportunity in these medical and biological research firms, right? Like they are a company that they have guaranteed government money. He has connections to know and be able to get the inside scoop on whether or not they're going to keep getting government money. And then he takes the connection that he had because he was the vice president's son and
Yeah,
the money he collects by sitting on boards like Burisma, and then he's able to invest that in these growing companies with government contracts and then collect more money. And
yeah.
like
Let's
that's the day-to-day corruption, and like setting aside all the rest of the stuff which we can debate, but the day-to-day corruption, those are facts. That's how many of the world's like rich and elite make their money off of us and off of having inside information.
Yeah, and just in case you and I haven't been clear enough, Hunter Biden's primary job was influence peddling. Now, whether he had that influence or not is the question, and whether it's
Yeah,
corrupt or not, or legal or not, doesn't matter. What his job was influence peddling. Period. That's where he gets his money from. So that's
yeah,
it.
it
It's not even a debate.
certainly in a sense appears to provide value, so at least that's what many of these companies felt. So
I being connected to Hunter Biden can keep the purse open for your small upstart of a virus investigation business. Let's put it that way.
I said they get a lot of money. And again, it's not a ridiculous thing to invest in this stuff. You think of how much money. What was that? What's that company that like Elizabeth Holmes had? That woman who was like defrauding everyone with the blood company. I'm
Oh,
trying to remember
oh,
what that was, but like also like a whole bunch of political connections. That's how it ended up getting so much money, was because there's people like Henry Kissinger involved and Joe Biden showing up to talk about like great tech startup innovation, whatnot. And all these
yeah,
political figures ended up getting involved and talking a big game about it. And turns out it was kind of a scam.
kind of, just kind of. I think I'm trying to. My brain isn't working as well as it could for this, but it's
I
I
mean, yeah, I mean, like for that one, it was like they might have genuinely believed that they could have done this thing, but never actually accomplished it in the way that they were saying they were. That's
correct.
which there's a whole trial going on about all that stuff. But like it, that was people were seeing stuff like that and like, wow, we need to get in on the ground floor of this and like genetic testing and like also virus research. Again, government contracts, like when you get those, the money just keeps flowing. It's a bunch of stuff. you can make some money off of that. Like, right? That's what these folks are probably thinking. Again, how did they get all that money in the first place? Well, that's a great question. So like that's what bothers me about this story. It's not all the other stuff which I'm looking into, but like a lot of it's a lot of innuendo to me.
Yeah, well, let's do some innuendo for a second. Have
All right,
you
well, let's
researched?
just run with that.
Yeah, have we researched the connection between uh, Epstein, Maxwell, Hunter Biden, and Metabiota?
I'm sure you're gonna tell me about it.
I'm not. I'm just gonna put it out there. Like I
Throw
just,
it out there. Just throw out some
I'm just
names.
wondering. I
Just
think if we put,
what's the connection?
well, they've been on planes together. It was all part of that original influence peddling. I mean, investment peddling deal. They all kind of got together and invested at the same time, is my understanding. And so they were all kind of hanging out, like just playing the stock market, let's call it. Finding these businesses together.
Yeah, I mean,
I
there's a
don't know.
lot the investment firms. What's this one called? Hunter Biden's is Rosemont Seneca Partners. He founded it with a couple other folks in 2009, and yeah, they seem to find their way into some profitable companies. However, they do that. Some of which I'm sure is legit. And again, this kind of straddles the line. Like it's probably mostly legit. I just don't like how that influence was used and how those like again it's none of that like the stuff that I described is illegal. It's just skeevy, and it's what frustrates a lot of folks when they look at like the well off and powerful, and they're like, well, how did you get that? What actual value did you provide to the economy and to these companies?
We would
uh
like it to be illegal, I think. I think some of it we would like to be illegal, but then the $23.9 million from the US government went to Metabiota at sort of connected to Biden back in 2014. I mean, that's a real significant amount of money. It does seem like g- we should be able to do better than this, don't you think?
in theory, right? But I don't know. I don't know that there are ways of making this sort of behavior illegal without there being other consequences for the free market. So I don't know what to do. I don't have the answers on this one.
I think that virus research would be tough to fund in the free market. So that's
It
the
might be. I
issue,
mean, and
right?
that might be a good reason to have the government fund it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I mean, the government has some functions like other than building roads that are probably reasonably important. I'm just trying a hard time.
just
Occasionally I have a hard time figuring out what they are.
I
That's
know
all.
it's a little bit tough,
Yeah, it's a little
especially
bit.
as you're driving back on that bad road. And you're like, what is the
That's what I'm
government even
thinking.
doing here?
That's what I'm thinking about right now.
Yeah. So,
No,
uh,
sorry. I know I'm getting you off track, Kevin. I apologize.
no, it's all right. I'm catching up on some of the other story. I'm trying to think of like what other points to make here, with with the Hunter Biden story, because like I said, I don't know that it's the big conspiracy theory folks want it to be. I think most of this is everyday corruption. Like maybe it is, and I'm still looking at this stuff, but again, a lot of it seems just run the mill, and it's stuff worth being mad about in different ways. And so I'm not gonna. I don't have a policy solution to like this sort of soft legal like
Area where
yeah.
if you file the right paperwork, you're fine. You can sell influence and access to the US congressional
Yeah, I
budget.
mean, like it's like a legitimate skill set too, right? Like
It
it's
is.
like to make those connections. Like I
uh,
get it. It's just
It's
ew.
just
Like if we
so
just like had the government have less power, like people like this wouldn't be able to make so much money off of that
it's just so
skill set,
dirty.
off
It
of
just
us,
yes, off of us, off of our I mean, I don't know.
the money they extract from us, they take out of.
Money's gotten kind of imaginary, right? When we're $30 trillion in debt, they just borrowed it. They gave it to some company. Some fell off in Hunter's, business ventures and other things that Hunter was into. It's just how
Yeah,
business gets done. That's all. Borrow
and
some money, make some friends.
yeah, I mean that might be what it is. And again, it's never that direct. A lot of folks don't like it's hard to make like a specific accusation about a lot of this stuff because people know what they're doing. They have lawyers and they say, well, don't say this. And I
Yeah.
can't tell you anything else without, breaking the law. Like it's like that type of stuff. And again, not every lawyer is like that, but there's certainly some who would be
Well,
able
they're
to
zealously protecting their client's interest. That's their job.
protect their client's interest and follow the law to a T. Like just exactly the right
Oh,
thing.
oh
All
man,
right.
this is just killing me. That's all corruption to me, but I
Yeah.
get it.
All right. So we got to head to break. Thanks again for joining us here on A Free Solution. We're going to be back in just a few minutes. Talk to you soon. All right. We're out.
You probably talked about the Bills football stadium, right?
I think Larry talked about it because
He did.
I need to listen to his to his show from Tuesday.
We could do a quick little review. Larry talked about it and how it's just another government handout, and then we could talk about how Craig pointed out that Kathy Hochul's husband serves on is a part of the vending coalition that sells food at Bill's Stadium and several other places. Just just being connected, Kevin. That's how you make money. Let's see if I can get the accurate.
What the name is?
Yeah.
Now the name sounded familiar to me because I thought there was some other politician who was connected to Delaware North.
Yes, Delaware North. Thank you. That was good. You got that pretty quick.
Yeah.
Again, the New York Post pointing it out. I love that.
Yeah. So we got to talk about this redistricting or tofurkey.
Yeah, we should talk about redistricting and the exciting moment that we have right now where a judge handed back the Democrat plan and said it's just simply gerrymandering. And we could probably try to work in this whole segue into this Bills thing too. I think we should talk about all of it. We only have 10 minutes, but we can do it, Kevin.
I'm sure we can figure it out. I'll present both sides here in the comments for that story we just talked about.
Okay.
Now, folks listening, you want to read both of them, Washington Post version, the Daily Mail version.
I go with the Daily Mail version. It's so much more fun.
It is all right. I'll say this about Daily Mail version. It is more interesting in the sense that they let their imaginations run wild, and except for it's so repetitive.
Is it?
It is. They just keep repeating the same paragraphs over again. It drove me nuts reading it. And some of it's important, right? It's quotes from the emails. All right,
Sure.
just read that.
Yeah.
All right, but let's go back at 30.
All right.
Go 30 to 40. And talk about Bills.
Tofurkey. Are they going to sell Tofurkey at the new Bills Stadium?
Redistricting. And then some fake news. Got a couple good ones.
Good. I have zero. I got
well, you get right. You got time to Google.
No, that's true. Get to work. Get to work.
You just don't slack.
That's true.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Welcome back to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson, your host for today, joined by Tim, the Freedom Variant O'Connor.
Well,
And
an interesting segue off the Biden thing, and we talk a little bit about maybe. Can we talk about how you guys are getting an $850 million, $1.4 billion stadium, $850 million of which is coming from your government, and how it's just coincidental that Delaware North is a big vendor, and Kathy's husband just happens to be one of the biggest wigs at Delaware North. Like, it's all pretty simple, right? It's
my,
just how business gets done, Kevin.
it's probably completely legit.
They filed the right paperwork, I bet
That's
you.
all. I mean, we talk about there's, we can't, as far as I'm aware, make any specific. We could point out that there's a connection. We can't make any specific accusation of anything, you know, not
We're in
legal here, but
I know we're in
there's a
so much
connection.
trouble though. If we
Yeah.
can't if we can't say, look, this stinks of corruption, this is horrible, this is awful, and somebody should be in trouble for it. If we can't do that, what hope
Well,
is there for our children? Just
yeah.
tell me that.
I mean, like they're already doing the vending for like the existing stadium, right? I'm
Sure.
generally mad. Like again, I like the Bills. At half
Yeah,
the time, I'm wearing a Bills hat during the show,
true.
and you know,
Verify
I,
that.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, you radio listeners can't see it, but it usually that's the case. And not today, but $850 million is a ridiculous amount of money for the state to be doing for the state to be spending. It's probably gonna end up costing more than that too.
I'm
Uh,
sure.
and this isn't something that has to happen. Like we don't need to have the state jump in and do this. That stadium for the LA Chargers and the Rams, that stadium, which also costs like well over $1 billion, no government money, and that's in the state of California. Tim, state of California, that was no government money
How did
involved
that
in
happen
building
in
this.
California? Like, honestly, California seems like almost as corrupt as New York. How did they get away with this?
No, they didn't. They just the
Oh, right. I'm
owners.
sorry. I'm looking at it wrong. I got it backwards.
Yeah, I mean, New York is unique, and we're number one.
We are number
Hooray!
one in so many things. The one of the most recent tax burden calculations once again ranks New York as number one. And but guys, we're going to have a new football stadium. It's amazing.
Hooray!
Hooray.
I know it's yeah, like that. I'm excited to see that, even though it's gonna be less seats too, which is interesting. But there's
That
fewer
sounds
seats there.
that's great. More expensive seating. This is going to be
Yeah,
great.
and then what kills me too is they're gonna like sell some of the seats too
Nice.
to the fans, so they're gonna fund it that way, so they get to keep that. Um,
All right. All
yeah,
right.
that's
They got a great business plan is what I'm hearing. And when it
yeah.
falls short on business, the plan is the government will pick up the tab.
Yeah, and that I don't like a lot of the implications too of like they kind of threaten to not stay in the area, that they would move the team to somewhere else if which yeah, I don't like that. That's
Well, they are the only real New York team, and I know that's going to hurt a lot of people's feelings down New York City way, but like
it's
that's an
true. The
absolute
only one.
fact. Okay, they are the only New York State football team. That's it. The other teams play in New Jersey, and they even got to cut them tax breaks to get them to
Shoot.
pretend that they're in New York. Just so you know.
Yeah, and I think that the stadium, so SoFi Stadium out there, and what's the one in New York? I think that one was also not built with taxpayer money either. Like it is in fact possible to do. You can build football stadiums without having to suck a bunch of money from taxpayers. Uh, Football teams are able to raise money. You're able to get loans. You're able to do a whole bunch of different stuff and still come out with a good product that the fans will be excited about. And the the argument that like, well, this is going to create a whole bunch of jobs or whatever, like no, these are again temporary temporary gigs, and on net, New York State is going to lose money on this. Like, it happens over and over and over again. Whenever governments at any level end up investing in these sports stadiums, promising either job creation or like, well, a bunch of stuff is going to pop up around the stadium, restaurants or whatever, it doesn't happen. Like, consistently just doesn't happen.
I mean, first of all, it's $850 million in a budget that we don't have the money anyway, and here we are. Let's build a football stadium. Yay. Yay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I think a lot of people are legitimately mad about this, but I don't know that anything's going to be done with it. Like, even there's a lot of folks like me and you, and folks on the left too, who are Bills fans, and they're like, but this is still ridiculous. Like, there are so many better things that money could go for. If you're on the left, you're thinking about, whatever your spending priorities are, and if you're people like us, you're like, well, be nice to have that money back.
Yeah, it would. I mean,
Do stuff for my family. It's
this fiscal responsibility that I have to, discipline myself with. I'd like to see a little bit of that from the government. Well, I don't think I'm
that'd be
being
nice.
ridiculous asking for that.
No, that's in theory, that's how our government's supposed to work.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's going to be a shiny new stadium. What are they going to do with the old stadium? Tear it down?
Probably.
All right.
I'll just blow it up or something. I don't know. I
be
actually
kinda
don't
cool.
know what's going to happen there. But
All right. Well, I'm once again disappointed with the state of New York State. I got to be honest with you. Like, there's not solutions unless we listen to Larry. And I guess I'm concerned that people aren't hearing the libertarian message. What do you think?
yeah, I agree. And but it's hard again. Shiny thing. People like it. Some do.
Yeah.
If you ignore the fact about how much money we're spending on it and how little like monetary value comes out of that.
No monetary value, no long-term jobs there. And look, it's a good side gig for people on the weekend to go make a few bucks. I get it. That's cool. But they could do that without a brand new shiny stadium. They've been doing it for years at formerly Rich Stadium. What are they calling it now, guys? I haven't been.
With the Bills one?
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, no, it was it was Highmark Stadium, and then before that was New Era Field, and before that was the Ralph
Wilson. Yeah. Anyway,
so
names there. I love it.
Bunch of names. Oh, all right. So, well, we got like 2 minutes left. Let's talk about tofurkey thing. Should you be able to call tofurkey meat? The fake.
Should you? Yeah, I mean, I'm a free speech advocate. There's lots of things you should be able to say, but morally, Kevin, is it correct to call, I don't know, vegetable, beef, vegetable, whatever? I don't even know what to call it because I don't think I will ever eat it. But how do you name it, man? Can you call it meat?
What's what people like that? That's the idea, is they want to be able to describe it as like an imitation meat, right? Like they want to call it a veggie meat, but so there's been laws though, and this happens with not just with meat too. It happens with milk as well. There's a whole bunch of ridiculous laws around that, where these places will pass laws saying you can't call coconut milk because it's not really milk unless it comes from a cow and meets all these other definitions controlled by the dairy industry and whatnot. But like, to me, like, they're making the claim that's somehow confusing consumers, right? Like, that's like the government, the federal government needs to step in, or the state government needs to step in, because, well, if they call this tofurkey meat, they're going to get confused and think that they're getting actual meat, even though not a single person is ever getting confused about that.
Well, luckily we did get some pushback from a judge on that, right? Like they're going to be able to call tofurkey or vegan meat or whatever, vegetable meat. I don't know what
they're allowed to say plant-based meat or vegan meat. They're allowed to call it.
Possibilities are endless. Vegan meat burgers, like, okay,
yeah, plant-based sausages, whatever it is. Again, I think you should be able to do that. Again, no one, if you're looking at that, again, I'm not advocating eating it. Like, you do what you want. The lab grown meat, I would totally eat that.
You would?
Know what? I'm not opposed to that at all. I would totally eat the lab grown meat. Give me some Franken meat. It's gonna be great.
Is
We
it?
we gotta head to break though. We can talk
Okay.
about that during the
Sure.
break. But thanks again for joining us here on A Free Solution. We're gonna be back in just a few minutes with some Fake News Friday. Talk to you soon. Oh yeah, no, I totally like the the meat grown in a petri dish. I think that's
Yeah.
cool. I totally do it. Sorry to gross you out, Dave.
I mean, I guess it's just tradition, right? It does, but this is kind of I don't know where we're going with this fake meat stuff. Fake meat, fake news, fake meat. Everything is fake in our society. Everything.
Oh,
Fake
but so,
CNN
like, all right.
tweets.
So, like, if they could make it like physically identical to like real meat, like if you as if you just pulled it off of a cow, right? Like, and
Right.
it's like the same thing, same fat content, all that stuff. All the cells are identical. You telling me you wouldn't eat that?
Um, no, I mean I'd definitely try it, you know. I'm not afraid of it. It's
Yeah,
you know, it's plant meat. It's
plant
make
meat.
pretend meat. I guys every once in a while, though not often, Jim. Oh wait, we're not are we on the radio?
No, we're not on the radio.
Okay. I was gonna give a shout out to our friend Jim that called in about the McDonald's. Every once in a while, I go to McDonald's and eat a McDonald's burger, and that ain't meat. That's already
It's
they're already pushing
technically
the
meat.
boundaries of what I understand meat to be.
No, that's probably. I mean, do you remember the thing like with where they found that they're adding so much additive to like the Taco Bell meat
Yeah.
that they weren't sure if it technically met the definition anymore.
Well, that's the same thing with the McDonald's burger, the cheeseburgers especially. There's very little
There's
real what
something
we
wrong
would
with
call
them.
real meat in there, real beef.
Someone's got to do an investigation. I don't know.
Somebody's got I got something in my Facebook messages. It's whew, man, you don't want to watch that. You'll never eat it.
I'm sure. Listen, Dave. I feel like they probably could fake a rack of ribs at some
They
point.
could
Like eventually, the
Dave,
technology you're just gonna be able to like boop boop boop, and it's
you've
gonna
never wait, Dave, have you ever had the what is it, the McRib at McDonald's? I
McRib. You
love
just
that
press it all.
sandwich, bro. I love it. It's so bad. It's
I know
so
it's not
bad.
quite
It's
that. I
good.
had ribs last week. I know I it's gonna be tough to recreate that, but I don't know.
The crunchy rib bones are gonna be tough, but you could probably do it. I
Yeah,
mean,
maybe we'll see.
they'll get there.
I say
They'll get
I like that.
technology
Like,
will get us there.
that stuff doesn't weird me out. There's a lot of fake meats, like the tofurkey, like the tofu based meats. I don't like most of it. I've had
Yeah.
like corn before, corn with like a Q. I've had like there's a few of them that are they're like the beet burgers, the like whatever they're called, the
Oh,
incredible burgers. Those are actually pretty good. So they taste like they got the umami flavor down. It's pretty
okay.
solid actually.
No, you said
And
that was beets? Beef?
yeah.
I
Well,
like
they
beets
sell them at
anyway.
Burger King. That's like whatever the
Yeah, I like
Impossible
beets
Burger. That's what
anyway.
I said. Incredible Burger. It's Impossible Burger.
Oh, okay. Alright. I got you.
No, it's not bad. Like very. It's most definitely not a hamburger, but it's not bad if that's like your thing. Like you ethically don't want to eat meat or you can't physically or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's weird. It bleeds. I don't know if you ever seen it. Like because it has
What?
beet juice in it. Like so you
Oh,
bite into it, it like
alright. I don't
it's
know
red.
about any of that. That's just a little too
We'll try it.
I
No,
don't know.
next, what one of these weeks we're gonna do like an in-person show. I'll get you one. And
Okay. Alright. So check this out. I'm like been searching out the best chicken sandwich. And right now I gotta be honest, guys, like regardless of their political leanings, you know who's winning? Chick-fil-A, bro.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A has a killer chicken, just a plain old chicken sandwich. You don't got to get any of the fancy stuff. Get the plain old Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. You won't be disappointed.
No. Okay. I usually go to a local place. Like if you're going to a fast food place, like it's pretty good.
Yeah. See? We agree on something. That's good.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't go because like it's out of the way and there's always a line. So I'm like, I don't want to go there.
You know why there's a line? Because it's good.
I'm impatient. I'm just gonna go
I
get McDonald's. Actually, I usually
oh, okay.
there's never a line there. It's fine.
So I'm like anti-McDonald's. I feel bad about
No, I'm just doing it to egg you on. I don't
that.
even remember the last time I've been to one. No, because usually I'll go to like if I'm down in like Henrietta Way, I'll get the like a burrito or something, or there's like a fast casual Indian food place where you can get like non tacos and get that.
Nice. That would be cool.
But anyway, we should probably do Fake News Friday eventually.
We should. We should. Soy. Yeah, they're saying soy produces estrogen hormones in the male body.
Yeah,
I believe it.
maybe. I don't really eat it, so
Yeah, I try to stay away from it.
if you want to do it, then go for it. I mean, they're just if you're looking for like veggie based alternatives to like meat and like protein, they're just like way better options out than soy. Like soy is just a weird like government funded crop,
Something
like subsidized
bio lab created kind of deal.
Is Hunter Biden behind this too?
Hunter Biden
oh,
invested in soy. Let's get that going. Let's be real about that.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that next week's episode, full episode on why Hunter Biden caused soy. Let's say he's behind the whole soy thing. Possible Burger is soy. Is it? I thought it was like beans or something.
Oh man, now you're not. That's just deny. You're a esteemed member of the news media. Just deny that. That's not true.
Huh. Why we use soy? They totally do use soy. All right, maybe they use soy.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
I still liked it. It was still good. I don't apologize. I'm not gonna get caught up on like the politics of food like that. But
soy and crack. Okay,
why not?
You
are a free American. You do what you want. I respect your right.
Expensive. It's gonna get expensive.
It does. It probably does add up. But you do what you want.
Fast food is expensive though. We should get back to the show.
We should get back to the show. Let's go back we'll go back in at 48. So we got another minute.
Okay. All right.
And then so we'll go 48 to 60. and then we'll stop talking about fake meat.
Yeah, that was a good subject.
We could have spent all Fake News Friday talking about food.
A blow for freedom was struck by a court and said you can call vegan meat.
So it is.
It's vegan meat. Soylent Green is people. It is, brothers. Soylent Green is people.
I don't trust. They have that like drink products that's Soylent. I do not trust that.
No, do not.
I don't know what's in it. I'm not going to look at the ingredient list.
You know, you just don't want to admit it. I
don't want to think about it. I just live in denial.
That's it.
No, never tried that one. I draw the line somewhere. All right, back in 10. It's Fake News Friday. Welcome back to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson, your host today, joined by Tim, the Freedom Variant O'Connor, on this wonderful Fake News Friday. April Fool's Day. Yeah. April Fool's Day of all times. So, of course, we got to talk about some fake news. I'm excited to read this headline to you because I saw it. Auburn, New York. So, we're here. Auburn, New York, is now requiring all cats and dogs who are going to be outdoors within city limits to wear pants. Real news or fake news?
Wow. So I've seen this hoax play out in history, man, but this has got to be real news. I'm sad, but I think it's real news.
Is it real news? Auburn, New York, requiring your pets to wear pants.
It
is not real news.
Thank God. Woo.
that one is fake.
Well played, man. Well played.
No, that's I saw a couple of friends because like I went to college near that area and I saw that there's this fake letter going around from signed by the mayor. And I'll read parts of it. Said that there is a law passed in February 2022 regarding domestic pets. And it said that citizens had come up and spoken their concerns about how they were uncomfortable that that canines and felines are just walking around with exposed genitals.
Ah,
That's
so awesome. That reminds me.
and
Go
and it was
back to
backed
the.
up by veterinarians who said, it's also good if dogs wear pants outside during the wintertime too. It protects them, so it's to protect the animals, it's to protect the children. Like we're gonna be safe if dogs wear pants.
There was
No one has to be exposed to any of that stuff, the dogs or the children.
save the children. There was a back in the 30s or 40s, they started a campaign to get cows to wear diapers. I'm pretty sure I'll have to do some research on it, see if we
In the
can bring it up
30s or 40s.
in another show. Yeah, I mean, hoaxes used to make it around in the news back then too. But that is awesome. I got one.
It would also, and again, this letter's fake, but it would also deter mating as well.
Which is good. Which
Because
is good.
they can't, the dogs can't take their own pants off.
Yeah, they they probably can. Yeah, that would.
We have Facebook user says, put pants on a cat. I want to see the hospital report.
Yeah,
And
cats would not react well to that.
Dave online says, "Are you serious?" No. Luckily, this one is this one is fake news. I mean, there's some laws out there that's so ridiculous. You're like, there's no way that's real. And then turns out, but this one's actually fake. The mayor already came out and said, nope, this isn't real. No one's doing this. Someone just put out their April Fool's joke early or something.
All right, I've got one for you, Kevin. Even though I'm just the Idaho Potato Commission, all right, created a perfume. Is that real news or is that fake news? The Idaho Potato Commission created and let's give it a name, Frites by Idaho. What do you think?
Frites.
Yeah,
Is
Frites.
it a potato scented perfume?
I mean, if I was the Idaho Potato Commission, I would make it potato scented. Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, that's real.
It is. It goes back to a little bit earlier this year, Kevin, and it was like obviously a popularity stunt for the Idaho potato, which are, by the way, guys, are delicious. I just want to be clear. But yeah, they were sending it out for Valentine's Day if you wanted a little special something for your potato loving honey. The Idaho Potato Commission was giving away Frites by Idaho.
Frites.
Yep. Yep.
A fancy name and everything.
I know the smell is too good to resist. Let's be honest, right? Like that's what makes McDonald's work is their French fries. Burger King, their French fries. Chick-fil-A, their waffle fries, guys. The potato has done so much for this world.
Yeah, no,
and now it's a fragrance.
I mean, is it? I'd be curious. Is it like cooked potato? Like if it smells like fresh French fries and you can pull it off, maybe. Now it would probably still be gross, but
yeah, no, they're claiming it's a French fry scented perfume, like that. It is based on the Freedom Fry scent of America.
God bless America. All right.
Bless
no, I don't feel like I need that. Like my wife has like a very sensitive sense of smell, and like I can walk through, let's say, a McDonald's, and then suddenly she's like, "Did you like hang out near a fryer?" I'm like, "No, I walked into a fast food place. I didn't even get friend."
You should
smell it.
You should get her some Idaho potato frites. Frites
by the whole house can smell like this. That's
it's gonna be a collector's item someday.
I don't know. Well, yeah, maybe we need to get some. We'll stock up. I'll corner the market on that.
Yeah, do it.
I've had some like food based like scents do not always work out well. I've had some like bacon scented stuff, and there's some like bacon scented like things that end up smelling like pretty good. There are other ones where I'm like, you just all you did was like pour some like smoke smell into a bottle, and this is the most foul thing I've ever had or ever like smelt.
Yeah, sometimes I'll be honest. Even barbecue places kind of overuse that fake smoke stuff. Like it It needs to kind of be cooked in, or else you can taste it and you can feel it. It ruins the food sometimes. Guys, ease up on the smoky flavor, the fake smoky flavor. Just ease up on it.
That's all we're asking.
That's it. Not too much to ask, is it?
No, I mean that's the hope. Sorry, excuse me while I just cough my brains out here.
All right, that's okay. How do I cover this? You're the guy with the
I
fake
know,
news. You
right?
got to get this straightened out, brother.
I'm trying to find my other fake news story now. Um,
Freaks by Idaho.
yeah, and yeah, how do I beat the fries story
I I
other
just
than
can't.
the the dog story though? That's
The dog story was good. That was good. In Auburn, New York.
Auburn, New York. Which listen, I worked over there for a while. I
Yeah.
worked for a member of Congress.
Nice.
Yeah, so
And I guess I'm sorry. I
I
want to say
guess
that
yeah.
too.
Uh,
Nice.
Also
And
that
I'm sorry. Great resume enhancer, I guess.
I guess if you gotta
Yeah.
work for someone who is like in the government,
Yeah.
that's- but anywho, uh, man, it's killing me. I'm trying to find my other fake news story.
All right.
But oh well. I mean, we keep going back to talking about the Hunter Biden stuff.
I mean, that always seems like fake news anyway, right? It's just so hard to believe. There was I've got kind of a fake news, but it goes to Ukraine, and I think people are a little played out on Ukraine. But
Are
I'm,
we done with Ukraine? Are we not talking about it anymore?
I mean, we can't not talk about it. But just recently on the CNN shares a tweet in post accusing broadcaster of fabricating Ukraine bomb story. And basically, what they do is they take these pictures, and these are the remains of a once famous Ukrainian resort hotel, and it was bombed by Russian bombers. And again, they right from the get go they offered a lot of fake, but this was a fake news story, right? So I don't know how to present that one because it's not that humorous, right?
No, yeah, that one's definitely less fun, unfortunately. I mean, but it is something like, it happens all the time. Like people will just share things that they assume are real. We did like half a show on this, right? Like,
Yeah.
you get that fog of war of these situations where people want to either want to believe something or they assume it's real because like, well, look at these pictures side by side, and again, there's some of that real stuff happening, and sorting out the lies, the propaganda, the true storytelling, and like the counter propaganda that goes on in these situations is tough. So you got to be extra discerning in these situations, or you're gonna end up sharing a bunch of fake stuff. Actually, so that reminded me of one of the other ones I want to talk about. It's that the story about the Russian soldiers getting acute radiation poisoning in Chernobyl might
Yeah.
not be true.
Really?
So they were walking around in an area where they most certainly got exposed to some like radiation, right? Because they're walking around without gear in like, I guess, like the Red Forest area, which is where there's a lot of material still around. Um, but it's not high enough for them to get the acute radiation poisoning that people are saying is happening. They will probably have a much higher risk of cancer. They might have like some symptoms of radiation sickness, but I guess it's not likely that that situation is what caused that. I mean, we'll see. It's one of those, again, same thing. It's one of those like narrative that makes sense to me. They're in Chernobyl. The Russian troops have had issues with having adequate gear in places where they've gone. Therefore, they face the consequence for that. So meets a narrative. So we string together that evidence to say that this thing happened.
I've got one. Fake news or real news? The
Real quick,
upstate New York GOP judge sent the Democrat redistricting plan back to the assembly.
is real news.
It is
And
real
it
news,
and it, it because they were gerrymandering.
which we all knew. Thanks, Judge Guy.
Yeah, Judge Guy.
Thanks, Judge Guy. We all knew they were gerrymandering.
No.
So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, no, I mean that's definitely something that we're probably going to talk about next week. So we're running out of time though for the show. Thanks again for joining us here on A Free Solution. We're going to be back next week. Have
We will.
a great weekend. All right, and we're out. So mad. I'm gonna find my fake news story like as soon as
I know that was like,
done. I'm like
wow.
I took too many pictures and screenshots
I know.
about stuff this weekend.
Sometimes I break my computer with loading stuff in, but I managed to find that Idaho potato thing while we were talking. Hey, Dave, thanks for being here. Facebook user, I wonder who that is. Sometimes you guys got to give your permission for your name to be seen, so we know exactly who you are. Unless you don't want, we respect your right to privacy.
Do we, Tim? Do we?
I do. The social credit system does not.
No. So
But you get extra points on your social credit score for posting and liking and commenting on the Free Solution Facebook page, Tim O'Connor, the Freedom Variant page, Kevin Wilson, Libertarian page, and anywhere you might watch this show.
That's totally not fake news.
Yes, right.
I'm pretty sure it's real news.
No, Dave, I know who you are. I was there. One of the names is coming up as Facebook user.
John.
Thank you,
John. There you go.
Yeah, thanks, John.
All right. Well, we should call tonight, though.
We should.
All right.
We'll get sideways. I'm wicked tired. Guys, thank you all. Really much appreciated. The comments are always appreciated. Kevin, always appreciate doing the show with you. Have a great time. Absolutely. And Stephen Becker. Hey, Steve. All right. He checking in from
Utah.
Park City, Utah.
What's up,
all
Steve?
Right, world traveling. That's awesome.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Steve. We're leaving now.
We're leaving now. Not because you're here, but because
totally not because of you. Just
definitely not. Steve. I love that guy. I love everybody, but I love that guy.
All right. Have a good night, folks.